Okay, this is our last session before trying to finish up the game. Things on the to-do list. Try to get the... your lever is great. Need to get Soridia out of here. Uh, I think I played this uh, module before. I think we have everything that we really need to get Soridia to get out of her undead state, but we probably need to talk to her and try to try to trigger things. We're missing something, but I don't think it's progress or anything else. We also need to do shopping, but we'll do that at last. We need to select spells for the final battle too. The bigger problem is the two mission rune fragments. I've been thinking about them a lot throughout the last few sessions, and I think I'm fairly certain I know where one of them is. Um, the problem is the other one. I'm it's been a very long time since I played this. I'm very confident it's in a crypt. That's sort of why I was expecting it to be where the vampire was. But now I'm not so sure. I'm still fairly certain it's in a crypt. But I'm starting to lean towards being somewhere else. However, these are vague memory type of recollections. So what I want to do first and foremost, let's see if we can get Sorinia the Banshee and solve her quest line. Yeah. After that, I'm going to go after the rune fragment that I think I fairly confidently know where it is. If that proves out to be the case, then I have a fairly strong hunch where the missing fourth rune will be, but we'll see. Let's get Sorinia though. I don't see what we could be missing with her.
Warm winds.
I'm not ready yet. I sense we have more to discuss, though perhaps not yet.
Warm winds.
Okay, I guess we will just have to discuss things with her. Okay, can you give me any useful information about the rite I used to put you in this condition? I'm sorry, my love, but I cannot. I was too weak and close to death to know exactly what you did to bring this fate upon me, but I'm certain that you will find a way to undo it.
Warm winds.
Okay, I'd like to talk about us. Ooh, charisma success. I want to know who you are again. I don't remember much from when I was alive. Tell me about yourself. Me? I'm flattered that you even care any longer, Vigo. It is said that the dead care little for what they left behind when they died. I was an apprentice wizard when we met, barely able to cast light cantrips, and you offered to teach me a few alchemic ones to help me cheat my way through tests. Of course I got caught. Any teacher of wizardry worth his salt would have detected an alchemic rite in his classroom, but that didn't matter to me. I was young and stupid, even for an elf, and I left my training as a wizard to join you as an alchemist. For years we were just business partners. Then we moved here and began sharing a house and lab. I was attracted to you by your disrespect for the rules. At the same time that I knew someone had to keep an eye on you, or you'd get yourself and those around you into a lot of trouble someday. I suppose you could say my efforts were in vain. And the rest is, as they say, history. I thank you for asking, Beagle. That you care enough to do so is a small comfort in a life otherwise short on it. 5 points toward good.
Warm winds.
I suppose we'll just continue, please. I want to know about my life. Who was I? You were an alchemist, a good one at that. You drove a lot of people out of business with your research on negative energy. But there was always something hidden. Something you held back from the rest of the world, even me, as though you had discovered something too terrible to let anyone know, or help you, or share the burden. I'm sorry I can't say more. Our lives sound so trite when summed up in a few sentences, but there it is. Hmm, okay.
Warm winds.
There's new options popping up. How did we meet? We met in a library over books and papers. It was always your way to dig where digging wasn't needed, and with us it was no different. You asked me all sort of questions I would never have answered had you been anyone else, but somehow you just seemed too earnest to refuse. You wanted to know who my father was, my mother, why I wasn't at the library in Selantris. It was like you were studying me. Perhaps I had never met an elf before, I cannot remember. Perhaps, though you are well traveled, so it seems unlikely. Well, perhaps I just wasn't used to meeting brilliant, attractive females in the library. A sideways compliment to the gender if ever there was one, but a fine one to me. Well, I do aim to please. All this feels familiar somehow. Your jokes, your easy grace under pressure. It's like when we first met all over again. I remember little enough of my life and less of you, though I have come to regret that loss after only this conversation. It will return to you, Bigo, in this life or the next, as will I. Hmm, I'd like that. She smiles. Good. Now go and find out what you can about your life. I will be here if you wish to speak again. Return when you are a higher level or have regained a memory related to Serena. Okay, we can't be a higher level anymore, so...
Warm winds.
I wanted to ask you more about our relationship. Of course, it's easy to forget that you remember almost nothing of us. And honestly, my mind is a bit foggy. It's as though the things that mattered in life have little importance after death. And yet, and yet I do not wish to forget you. But you'd ask about us. And I shall tell you more. After we met, you did not begin a lengthy and charming courtship, as many might have. Instead, you asked me to partner with you on a business venture of an arcane nature. You wanted someone to assist you in a lab you had rented in Selantris, and I seemed a perfect fit, or so you put it. At first, I was rather unimpressed. I'd expected more from you, and you seemed suddenly uninterested. But then I realized that you weren't just asking me for a business venture. You were inviting me to help you in your life's work, to view that which you held dearest and above all else. Put in that light, I was touched. I'm glad you realized it. I wonder if I did. You cannot know unless you remember. At any rate, we quickly became enthralled with one another's work. Your deep conviction that alchemy could be used to help the people was something I had never seen before. Most people I met in Selantris were businesslike and convicted about convicted about nothing. Even the priests there seemed half-hearted, but you were different. Okay, and what did you do? I was researching a method to summon and bind a creature known only as the Vagabond. Little was known about them save that they were extraplanar in nature, and I was fascinated by the concept of an invisible telepathic being. How would you know if you weren't simply thinking the thoughts it broadcasts you yourself? What would be the dividing line between communication and insanity? I can see how that would raise some interesting philosophical quandaries for a mage. Thank you. I'm glad that if your memory does not return, you still may feel for me what you once did. It's difficult knowing that I once was so close to you, and yet being able to recall nothing. I'm sorry to put you through it. It's all right. I can't imagine what you must be suffering. It is difficult to be sure. I want to die again because, well, it's like an itch on the small of my back. I can't quite reach it, can't quite be comfortable like this, and yet I don't want to give up what stretch of life I have left. A difficult choice for anyone, to live as something that makes you uncomfortable in your own skin, or to give up your life entirely to become something unknown. If only a middle ground were available, but I see none. Nor do I. She smiles softly. I have enjoyed our talk, as always, Vigo. Please come back again if you wish to speak with me.
Warm winds.
I wanted your thoughts on what I should do. About what? About you, about me, about us. I'm uncertain how to proceed. If I break your curse, you will die. She interrupts you. But I'm already dead, don't forget that. I will not co- I will not cause me pain to pass on. Okay, I'm assuming it will not cause me pain to pass on, I'm certain. And if I break my own curse, I will pass on, but I don't know if I want either of us to pass on. I remember so little, but I do remember that I care deeply for you. Remembered or discovered again? I honestly cannot tell, Serenia. I'm sorry, but I know I couldn't bear to lose you again unless I knew there was some way we could meet again. I see. I will tell you a story I discovered while we were together in Salatris, before we moved to this village and before either of us died. No doubt you have some experience with the underworld. It is a cold and dreary place devoid of life or will for life. But according to this legend I read, it need not be so. That's a relief, but I sense a catch. Perhaps not as large of a one as you fear. According to legend, the underworld is dark and damp and horrible because it is the sum reflection of all the souls of humanity that reside there. You see, the legend explained that most men and women are at heart selfish creatures, and for those who are, the underworld comes to reflect their souls. They think only of themselves, and so they lose the ability to think of or even interact with others. They become mindless undead, wandering forever in the cold and the dark. This isn't exactly cheering me up. Hold on a moment, I'm coming to the hopeful bit. It seems that if a soul enters the underworld and is, at the moment of entrance, thinking of another, it may escape this fate. Unfortunately, most think only of themselves at death, and what could be more natural? Death is often painful and frankly frustrating. The legend relates that no being may escape the fate of the walking dead without the love of another, a truly selfless love that will make both lovers think only of the other as they die. So you see, perhaps not all is lost. Perhaps we can save one another, though we both failed to do so in life. take some comfort from that, but not as much as I'd hoped. Ultimately, the choice is yours. You hold all the cards for both of us, Pico. I am a prisoner here until you free me, and your fate is in your own hands. I know, I'm sorry, but I'm just not sure I'm ready to give up. I sense I'm getting close to my goal, but I fear that when I reach it, I will not be able to follow through. She smiles, and it is strangely comforting that she can find anything to smile about. You sense the glimmer of a memory surface, just a feeling of affection, and it gives you hope. The fears of the dead are not so different than the living. It seems not. Again, I thank you for talking with me. Likewise, I have missed you, Beagle, and I swear I will not let the underworld part us again. If there be will within my soul to do it, I will resist the mindless draws of unlife. Turn when you can. I believe I may be ready to pass on. Oh, sweet Jesus, finally.
Warm winds.
Serenia raises her head and seems to grow nearly opaque with joy. Truly, and I am nearly free. Oh, my love, I knew you could do it. I never doubted you for a second. There's just one thing. Yes, my love. Mm, we don't have any special options. I guess you can chicken out at this point, or chicken out or refuse to do it. I wish I'd been able to free you sooner. You did the best you could. Your intention was never to render me half alive, I know, and it could only have been torture for you while you lived, knowing I was here, undead, suffering. I wish we had more time, both when we were alive and now. Time is not something that is given to mortals in great quantities, Pico. It is something you were never able to accept. Please, let me say this. If you remember nothing in the trials that lie ahead for you, remember that I loved you, and that I will be waiting for you among the shades of the underworld. Thank you, Serena, for everything. Thank you, Pico. Are you ready? Are you? Yes, I am. I shall release you to the underworld and whatever afterlife awaits. Then let this end, and let me find my rest. My dear love, I thank you again for your help, and I wish you too will find your rest. I will be waiting for you when your quest is done. Thank you. Be at rest, Serena. Serenia. You read the scroll and Serenia smiles as the magic takes hold of her. There is a far-off howl from some unknown source, and then she slowly fades from sight, her spirit at last at rest. Okay, this is good. Very good. We might be able to squeeze enough experience points out of everything to get to level 10. However, there's very little positive about that. I mean, we're not going to get any massive ability boosts, no new spell levels. Um, what I want, I'm happy about the experience because it allows us to, through alchemy, create scrolls. It will cost experience points to do so. Now we have a healthy buffer, so we don't have to worry about losing an actual level. I don't know if that's possible, but that's not a threat. And we still have yeah, the runes. Okay, I think the one of the runes is in the conclave. I don't know how I missed it though, so I'm a bit skeptical, but I still think it's in the conclave. This would be the western rune. Where is it? we get a little bit of a light here.
I'm not a pack mule. Remove this burden.
No. Looking at our spell storage, we are fairly well equipped to any final battle, about as well as I can imagine us being. We have massive amount of attack spells, so even if everything, and massive amounts of summon creatures of different kinds, undead creatures, celestial creatures. So I can't see us hitting too much trouble. And if we get the rune, I'm not sure how much of actual fighting do we have to do.
Ortano, for Digyama!
I was pretty sure though that I went through all these places. But I can't see where we might have missed something. It's not an alchemy table, it's gonna be some kind of a chest if it is something.
Not a chance.
Jesus fucking Christ. Right there in the open. I never was, always to be. No one ever saw me nor ever will. And yet I am the confidence of all, to live and breathe on this terrestrial ball. That's a lot of letters. Wait, can't we can't go through the guessing game this time. Okay, I never was always to be. I never was, I'm always to be. Something to look forward to, I guess. Like future. It's not gonna be future, but it will never happen. It's always it's a concept about the future. No one ever saw me, nor ever will. I think that's basically the. It's not a thing. It's an idea or a concept. And yet I am the confidence of all. Live and breathe on this terrestrial ball. I'm not quite sure what that is. That means it's like hopeful about the future. It is something like that. But what's the actual word? Hoseler. What are our options? Okay. Long. There's 5 on each letter. What the fuck? Eller. Okay. What is this? Ooh. Is it tomorrow? Yeah. Okay. This is good. This is very good. I think I know where the where the final rune is. It is in a crypt. Yeah, it's in the fucking graveyard where we start the game. Where? There's basically two places here where it can be. The ancient crypt here or the private plot crypt. But I've been to both of them multiple times. Why haven't I spotted it? I'm trying to find items that would boost our spotting capability. Search, yeah, we haven't really searched anything, so search requires us to activate a mode. It's you can spot things without it, but that would increase the chance of spotting something. That's all we can do. All speed, shifting shadows. This is a sneaking ability. Yeah, that's all we can do. Okay, still. Keen senses. Plus 15 to listen checks for 60 seconds. Potion of eyes. Plus 10 to spot checks for 60 seconds. We're gonna go. I'm gonna save here. If we don't find anything, I can slow it and we can waste our resources. But I think I don't. I think I'm correct about this. If it's not the crypts here, it's the ancient crypt with the vampire. But I have a very strong recollection that it's here. Okay, drink it all. Well, we can raise the symbol. We also need to pay attention to any kind of spot checks the game does, something like that. That would be an indication that we might be close to hitting something. Nothing. We're gonna run out of the effects soon, so I want to keep searching for the full minute. There's a chance we just aren't gonna find it. Yeah. If it's here, I'm not seeing it. I'm 95% sure it's in a crypt. Much less, much more uncertain though about the exact location of it. Because I don't recall anything about it. Just that it's a crypt. We already found something here, yeah. But I do have a strong recollection that it is the graveyard, because I don't think this is the first the that this is the Jesus Christ words. I'm pretty sure I've been stuck on this situation sometime before. That's why I remember it.
You really need to see this.
The floor sounds hollow here. Please be the correct place. I can't see
You
doing
really
anything
need to
like.
see this.
Yeah, I think this is it. Ah. It's not going to be unprotected. Either way, we should be able to fall through it. It's basically the end boss that I'm worried about that we might have trouble with, nothing else. This team could kill the Vampire Lord without too much fuss. Rune covered box and a sarcophagus. The symbol appears to be some sort of ward. Spellcraft success. With your knowledge of spellcraft, you deactivate the wards. They probably should save after this. That's our prize. What the hell is the other one? That's the Guardian. Right? Yep. Elder Chilton Lord. Still overpowering at this point. This undead lord was disturbed by your rule. Yes, it was. It should not be all the people. Why are you inside the... Come out of there. Come out of the sarcophagus.
Of course.
Whatever.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, the ASMR has no trouble taking it out. So, ooh, a raid. So it didn't keep up so easily. Simon. Yolar. His hammer, the hammer's unassuming stone head and iron haft hides a vicious series of enchantments. The original creator of this item is unknown, and based upon the weapon's bloody history, it's probably best forgotten. Okay. What is known is that this weapon seems to have a small measure of intelligence. Just enough to create in it a predatory bloodlust that drives it to occasionally crush the head of its foe to a bloody mess. Often, even if the target struck If the target struck survives the blow to the head, they will still be stunned by it and unable to act for several seconds. This power comes with a price. The hammer's thirst for blood extends to the user as well, and it slowly drains the user of hit points unless the user has some external source of regeneration. In addition, the hammer slowly corrupts the user's mind with thoughts of blood and destruction, until they become as dark and evil as the hammer itself. We're probably going to just get rid of it. It's a good hammer, but massive criticals, 10 damage, holy shit. We don't have a space for it.
I'm not a pack mule. Remove this burden.
You sort of are a pack mule though.
I'm not a pack mule. Remove this burden.
No. Need more space.
I'm not a pack mule. Remove this burden.
Okay, at least we can move normally again.
Not a chance.
Ah, shit. Ah, crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My first... Okay, first, second, third, fourth... Okay, it's like every letter has a hint of its own. My first is in T, but not in lead. Okay. My second is in T-bot and also in T. My third is in Caddy, but not in Cozy. Yes. Teacher. Okay.
I'm not a pack mule. Remove this burden.
How do we combine these? I think there's a porch here. Yeah. How do you combine these? Ah, I recall now.
I'm not a pack mule. Remove
There was
this
some
burden.
kind of a item we should use. Reconstruct the original rune using the fragments you have. Intelligence success. Using all four of the fragments you construct the original rune. The alchemic old rune. Yeah, I think there's a good chance we could get to level 10 if we really pushed for it. Don't think it matters. Anyway, where the hell is it? Minor artifact. Using the knowledge you found in a crumbling alchemic tome, you have reconstructed the east, north, south, and west fragments into this alchemic rune. Writ upon ancient stone in melted gold, these runes hold power beyond any alchemy you can perform alone. According to the tome you read, reading the rune written on the stone will snuff out the life force of both the user and the target creature. This rune has the power to kill any creature, even an immortal, but no creature so killed may ever return from the dead. So I think this is just a way to end the final battle with a guaranteed success. I think we might take it. It does mean though that there's really no point in making massive preparations for the final fight. The thing is, this is not necessarily the option you want to go with. However, how we played is that we're going to. The whole point was to end in our own deaths. We have no plans to stay as a Revenant. We just want to get our killer, which we know is Lore. So this, and by the looks of it, she is a very tough opponent. So we might as well make preparations, but I think we're going to keep them short and sweet. Still don't know how the swords could be combined. I think it's sort of the same thing. You need something to... Just having the swords is not enough. You need to interact with something to trigger the process. Because we... No. I was thinking we could go for the... What was I thinking? It's not important. Probably the level up thing. We could go for level 10 by sacrificing a couple of the more despicable items we have. Teleportation, go to the city if you can. No, wasn't exactly looking to come here. I want to access the altars here. Hmm. Hmm. Just sacrifice the evil sword. for more experience. That would pretty much cover things. Pray to the Stormfather as you learned from this holy book. What did it do? No idea. Yeah, we're very close. We need like 300 experience points. And if we would sacrifice one of the swords, that would be it. Might as well do it. I mean, we're not going to combine them anyway. And that'll do it. I think I'll end it here for a couple of reasons. Because if we want to take advantage of the level up, I'm going to use the rune. So I'm still preparing for a decent fight, I suppose. More spell breach. We have a lot of attack abilities in scrolls and summon abilities and everything. I don't think I need to use the rituals to prepare. We're about as good as we're gonna get. So, well, we might as well visit the grave and rest.
I'm not a pack mule. Remove this burden.
And we have the staff, which had some special abilities. At least the ability to make a clone of myself. Is a fighter version. And it seems to fight on its own. Okay. Let's go, people. Conclave. I'm pretty sure this is going to be all the preparations we're going to need. So a portal is ready. We just need to reach it. And that's pretty much it. I don't know if the rune forces us to fight or whatever other interactions we have with lore. But I'm sure with the rune we can't possibly screw things up. Yep. Try the planar shift.